Thank you for joining. Now, as we continue on this series, Trump Over the Narcissist, we're going to talk about setting boundaries, protecting yourself from the narcissistic abuse. And by doing so, in this video, we're going to finally learn ways to escape from the emotional and psychological abuse so we can become free from this toxic relationship, and we want to be able to recover in style. So, empath is what makes us human. The more sensitive we are to other people's feelings and needs, the greater the chance of harmony and creating a beautiful world. Every individual knows that the love, mercy, and hope are the divine qualities that keep our world running. But sometimes being an empath or having empathy slowly and silently kills us because of the emotional pain that we endure. It is very tiring to be polite to people who take your love for granted and treat you like a doormat. It is painful to care for someone unconditionally only to feel the thorns of betrayal or someone being very insensitive. It hurts deeply when your empathy is repaid with negative response. Letting other people take advantage of our kindness is a trap in which some individuals fall into. But there's a simple way to get out of it. And I want to preface by saying it is simple, but it's not easy. Now, let me go on the record to say that you do not need to change your personality into something that is callous or rude. You do not need to swap your soft-cornered heart with hard-heartedness. You do not need to compromise your ethics or beliefs at all. Instead, you need to direct all of that love, all of that kindness, and all of that care towards your own self by erecting firm boundaries. You need to realize that in order to make this world a better place, you need to be satisfied with who you are. You need to prioritize your needs in order to remain in good shape and in high spirits. And by doing this, you create a positive and uplifting frame of mind that allows you to function better and be attuned to other people's needs. So in short, you need to take care of yourself in order to take care of the world. Now, I'm sure that we have seen this slide before concerning the narcissistic abuse cycle. I'm sure that many of us are familiar with the highs and the lows of dealing with a narcissist. We understand that we go through the idealization phase when we first meet this individual. They put us up on a pedestal. They love us. They give us flowers, candy, their attention and time. And then as time goes by, they begin to devalue us. And then they may leave, and then they may come back. Depending upon the type of narcissist that you are dealing with, you need to understand the method with which they operate. Yes, they operate under the idealization, devaluation, and discarding phase, mostly with exhibitionists, mostly with closet, and other narcissistic subtypes. But there are other subtypes that only deal with idealization and also devaluation, like parents, bosses. So we need to really understand the cycle. Now, when you go through the idealization phase and then go through the devaluation phase, we need to be able to learn how to interject. We need to learn how to be able to transition while we're going through these cycles. So as you look at this slide, you will see that there's an idealization phase. And you see that there's some transition that is here that you can actually interject by setting boundaries, by calling them out, and you do not have to give them what they want. Now, yes, you will feel some opposition, some more, some less. The closet narcissist may not give you that much of resistance, but the loyal or the royal narcissist may give you some real pushback. So what we need to understand how in order to set boundaries based on your personal preference. You as an individual know what you're going through, so you need to be able to set boundaries according to your personal needs. Now, what I want to preface by saying is because you are an empath or because you are very empathetic, if you don't learn or apprehend or comprehend anything else, I want you to get this message. Because of who you are, we have a tendency to try to figure people out. We have a tendency to try to fix it. And what I will implore you to do today, moving forward, is to stop it. Stop trying to fix it. Stop trying to fix them. Stop trying to figure out what they're up to. Stop trying to figure out what's on their mind. Stop trying to figure out why they're so angry. Stop second guessing them. Stop trying to figure out their motives. Stop trying to make excuses for them. Stop trying to rationalize their behavior. And as much as possible, do not react defensively to the narcissistic injury. The only thing they're going to do is antagonize you. And with the narcissist, whether it is good supply or bad supply, and when I'm talking about supply, I'm talking about the attention. Whether it's good or bad, they don't care. What they want is that attention. I also want to preface that this is not about you. This is about the narcissist. And if you remember from past videos, we talked about the psychosexual theory from Sigmund Freud, where he mentioned that the underindulged child, they are normally abandoned or rejected, and they withdraw within themselves and create this grandiose feeling within themselves in order to make themselves important. We also talked about the overindulged child, that when he or she becomes prince and princesses, believe that other people can provide supply to them based on what they can receive from others. So I want you to preface and understand that this is not about you. It's about them. They were damaged before you met them. They were damaged before they met you. This is something that you cannot fix. So I implore you, do not try to fix something that was already damaged before you knew who they were. The next point that I want to talk about in terms of setting boundaries is call them out. Narcissists push the limits of any relationship to test to see what they can get away with. Their goal is to get attention and feel like that they have the upper hand. And one way to diffuse this is to call them out on what they're doing. And this will allow you to be able to set placeholders in the conversation in which you spoke truth about what they did. So for an example, if you're talking to your parent and your parent begins to put you down or start to call you names, call them out. That sounds like a put down to me. Speak truth as to what is going on. Or if you notice that when you're talking to your spouse, that every time that you talk about your day, they have a tendency to be interruptive and then they want to now talk about themselves. Call them out on it. Speak the truth about it. I notice that each time I talk about my day, you seem to be distracted. You interrupt me and you begin to talk about yourself. By doing this, again, I will preface that this allows you to set placeholders within the conversation. Now, their response is irrelevant, so don't comment on it. By commenting on their information about what you just said, only offer supply to what they want. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, they don't care. And what you go through internally is causing havoc to you. And we're going to talk about trauma bonding and how it actually affects the body, how it actually affects the mind, how it actually affects the soul. We're going to talk about that and ways to break free from that as well. So the goal here is to set placeholders, provide boundaries, and if they do not respect your wishes, set consequences. If you call me up my name again, I'm going to hang up. and proceed to do so. The next boundary that we need to employ is to say the word no. Learn to say the word no, especially to those that don't value your time or respect you. Even if you feel duty bound to help a person, remember that your needs must come first. So you must ask yourself, if I am sick or if I'm not well, how will I be able to help those that truly respect me and my talents? Saying no will offer you release and is the most powerful word that you can use when dealing with the narcissist. So, politely reject people that you are uncomfortable with working with and individuals that blatantly do not respect you. Next, no contact. No contact is exactly what it sounds like. That means blocking their number, making sure any emails from their address go into the spam folder, deleting them off of social media. The narcissist will try to contact you if you cut off their supply, and they know just what to say to make you come back. So you have to be brutal and fast. Remember, the narcissist has been doing this for years, some since childhood. So you have to be brutal, you have to be fast when dealing with a person of this magnitude. Go no contact. It may be best to break them up over a text because of who they are, so they cannot manipulate you any further. Also consider removing people that you have in common with on social media. I call these possible flying monkeys. These are the people that the narcissists have made friends with, and they have the ability to control and to manipulate. If you remember the movie The Wiz or The Wizard of Oz and the Wicked Witch, how they was looking for Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Cowardly Lion, and how the witch had their flying monkeys to find these individuals. The witch gave an order, and the flying monkeys carried out that order. They delivered the goods. It's the same way here. Narcissists have what I call them flying monkeys, that they have the ability to control, and they will deliver whatever it is that the narcissist requests for them to do. So I implore you to remove people that you have common interests with on social media. Now, it may seem harsh, but sometimes it's better just to start fresh and remove any association from the narcissist from your life. This includes their family, their friends, from social media networks like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn. The more connection you still have with each other, the more opportunities the narcissist has to slide back into your life somehow. And they could also use their friends to try to make you jealous. Now, you do not have to inform anyone that you're cutting them off. Although some people do inform and use this as an opportunity to express how they have hurt them. But remember, the narcissists really don't care. It's all about what you can do for them. So I do tell individuals that I work with, I do tell my clients that have the need to express their feelings to write it down in a journal. Write everything that you are feeling. Take an hour, take 2 hours, as long as it will take, how many days it will take. Write down how you feel. You'll be surprised how therapeutic it is. You'll be surprised how you begin to feel better. And when you feel that need to contact the narcissist while you're in no contact, write. Talk to someone. Write in your journal. This is so therapeutic. Also, manage those that are around you. So, for an example, do not let your mother-in-law or father-in-law or sister or brother or anyone that has an unfettered access to you, to your children, to your house, to your time, to your money, energy, or emotions, you can make the decision according to your comfort level of who you want to be surrounded with. And by setting good boundaries and having the right people around you, you can greatly reduce the emotional trauma and begin your road to recovery. Now, the next boundary we want to talk about is low contact gray rock. Low contact gray rock is when you cannot go no contact. If you cannot go no contact with a narcissist because you have children with them, maybe the finances are entangled, maybe they're controlling the finances, maybe they are manipulating you into staying. Whatever the reason is that you cannot go no contact, you can implement a technique called gray rock, low contact. So gray rock is where you become as exciting and interesting as a gray rock. And the goal is to blend into the background, become the most boring, unreactive person they've ever met. The reason behind this is that you can quit becoming a source of supply to their drama and providing attention, and by doing so, they will eventually leave you alone. So how do you go gray rock? By not responding to any emotion when they try to provoke you, and believe me, that is very difficult. Keep in mind that because they have no value, they have no empathy, and they have no remorse. They only know what you value by the level of reaction that you provide them. So do not react. It is a game. Don't react. Practice your non-reaction with a trusted friend, or use the mirror and go over different things you know they might say to instigate you, and then practice on being non-reactive. Because narcissists thrive on chaos and drama, they will eventually become disinterested and turn their attention elsewhere if they cannot get a rise out of you. Now, in order to go gray rock, you must engage with the narcissist and only talk about boring things like laundry or getting your oil change or doing your taxes. Do not talk about anything that will make them jealous or anything that will cause drama. Do not talk about how great things are going in your life. Do not talk about the accomplishments of your children. Do not talk about how great your life is going. Do not talk about upcoming vacations, your current boyfriend, sports tournaments with the kids, weddings, or anything that is remotely interesting. When they try to push your buttons, and they will try to push your buttons, do not react. And I do encourage you to practice this. It is difficult, yes it is, but practice. When you can learn the technique of going gray rock, they will eventually leave you alone. Do not try to make them see how hurtful their behavior was and is. Honestly, they don't care. And the more you talk, the more you're giving them supply, the more you're giving them energy and the attention that they crave. Take all the blame for the relationship and make them think it is not them, it's you. Doing this, take the ability away from them to argue and create drama and chaos. As far as you are concerned, there is nothing interesting about you whatsoever, nothing interesting about your children, and if they do try to blame you, accept the blame by just agreeing. Smile and nod and get away from them. In the next video, we're going to talk about why is it so difficult to leave the narcissist. We're going to talk about trauma bonding. Also, you are invited. You are invited to schedule a free 30-minute consultation with me to talk more about setting boundaries and protecting yourself from the narcissist. So I invite you to contact me. You can contact me at candidly.com/MLSPJames or questions at recoveryouresteem.com. Again, candidly.com at MLSPJames or questions at recoveryouresteem.com. Let's begin to talk more about setting boundaries so you can ultimately recover and live a happy and fulfilled and stylish life. Until we meet again, be productive, be joyful, and love yourself on purpose.